Hey everyone, on tonight's show, we are bringing back Ryan by popular demand, or so he likes to think. And we're going to be discussing the best and worst diets for 2020 and what you should be looking ahead to for 2021. And we're also going to talk about sleep, why we have such terrible sleep patterns, how to get more of it, and what doctors recommend. Today's show is brought to you by Southpaw Customs. Southpaw Customs is the official apparel brand of The Rachel Run Show. Southpaw Customs also designs and prints one-of-a-kind shirts, hoodies, and tumblers for large and small orders for businesses and individual orders. Visit spcustoms6.com. That's www.spcustoms6.com and tell Erica Rachel sent you. Also, make sure you help the show and purchase your official Rachel Runs gear by visiting www.spcustoms6.com and click on the Rachel Runs link. The Rachel Runs podcast is also brought to you by EBR Studio out of Feasterville, Pennsylvania. EBR Studio focuses on weddings, events, portrait, and product photography. EBR Studio is also the master at doing promo shoots and ad campaigns. I'm talking to you businesses and influencers. They are published worldwide, I know, because I've been on a few covers. If you have a wedding or event coming up, or if you're in the market for portraits or promo shots, go to www.ebrstudio.com. That's www.ebrstudio.com. Tell Bill Rachel sent you. EBR Studio is my official photographer and the official photographer of the Rachel Runs Show. As you know, we're all about health and wellness here. I have a great new product for you. You've probably heard of it and seen it on Instagram. It's called Liquid IV. I've actually been using it for years, back when they were a smaller company. Now I'm blessed enough to be working with them. If you haven't tried it before, it is a great add-in to your water that you just mix with your water bottle. And one water bottle with one packet of Liquid IV, just one packet, is like drinking 3 water bottles. So it really is a hydration multiplier. This is fantastic for runners, athletes, and anybody that works out. Mix it in your water bottle before you go to the gym. Use it on your long runs, and runners in the summertime. This stuff is great. Now, best part is they've given me a really, really good promo code. All caps, Rachel_runs will get you not only 25% off your whole order, but free shipping. I don't know about you guys, but free shipping is like a big thing of mine with online shopping. So make sure you use my promo code, all caps, Rachel_runs. It's the same as my Instagram handle, and you will get 25% off and free shipping on your Liquid IV order.
T-minus 60 seconds and counting. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff.
Numbers don't lie.
It doesn't make you a rock star.
I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you are so stupid.
It's breakfast if you throw an egg on it. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Rachel Runs. Tonight I brought back Ryan by popular demand. He thinks he's a ratings hit, so we brought him back.
The numbers don't lie.
Oh, okay. Yes, he did perform better than other episodes, so he's going to be a little difficult to deal with in the coming weeks, this newfound stardom.
Oh, yes. No, you put me up in my place really quick.
Oh, what did?
You
Oh,
said,
yeah.
no, it was just easier.
He said, "Oh, you bring him back because I did so well the last time," and I said, "No, you're just readily available." I don't know. You're gonna be able to handle the paparazzi outside your door every day.
I will try.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we were both reading some articles today and did a little bit of research into the best and worst diets of 2020. Basically, they do these lists every year. They rate the top diets that are trending, which ones are best, which ones are worse, and they base it on things like sustainability, accessibility, long-term maintenance, as well as, success rates with, pounds lost, things like that. So on the best side, we have Mediterranean, which to me, this is like a no-brainer. And actually, it's like the 4th year in a row that it's the best diet. It is pretty much common sense eating. You're eating a Mediterranean-based style diet. So that means lean protein, lots of vegetables, some fruits, healthy fats like olive oil, which we cook with all the time, and nuts. Doesn't have a whole lot of rules, and it's pretty much basic nutrition, which is why it rates the best. It's the easiest to maintain and stick with. It doesn't require anything fancy. You can go to the grocery store and get, anything you need from it. You don't have to go anywhere special. And it's pretty much common sense. And also wine is okay. So people will enjoy that aspect. Believe it or not, the whole alcohol thing came into a lot of the factors that each diet like mentioned whether or not it's okay. So apparently it's a big deal when you're talking about diets. Got to factor in alcohol and whether it's okay or not.
Of course. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem. I personally hate the word diet.
Yes. Diets.
Lock yourself into one direction is just listen to your body, be smart, eat healthy. And that's basically what these diets all tell you to do. Add more fruits and vegetables, add real fresh food, and you will be better.
As Michael from The Office would say, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly, KISS.
I don't like the word diet either in the sense of it being something restrictive.
Yeah. Some people need it, though.
Some people need that, thrive off of that structure.
I'm doing this, and it's a diet.
Some people thrive off of that, which is what they did talk about it with some of these and why some are better suited for people that need that structure. But overall, most people need something that's a little bit more flexible and can be implemented in their daily life without having to buy special foods or go to special stores for special supplements and things like that.
Yeah.
So the next best diet, and this one is best for your heart health, is called the DASH diet, which I had never heard of. It is the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. So this is for good heart health, and it is eat less red meat, which we would suck at because we do like our steak, and I like mine rare, really rare.
Bloody.
Yeah, I like it to moo. Lovely. So, and then the next one is little alcohol. So we also would not do well there. I mean, we don't drink a ton, but we like to have a cocktail with dinner. So and it also has lowering foods with sodium and saturated fat. Again, another common sense principle, nothing new there. And exercising 2.5 hours a week, which seems pretty reasonable.
Easy peasy.
So again, this is another common sense diet. I guess it's different from the Mediterranean diet in that probably a little bit less fat and sodium and the whole red meat thing. Although the Mediterranean diet really just preaches lean protein, so it's not really a whole lot of red meat. So they're pretty similar, making common sense decisions. And the top for the top three, third best diet is the flexitarian diet. That sounds so fancy. It sounds so trendy.
What's going on there?
So this one is the whole plant-based eating movement has taken a lot of momentum in the last year, and like being vegan or vegetarian, pescatarian. So flexitarian is like dipping your toes into the whole vegan and plant-based eating thing. Okay. So it's not as strict, like you're not just going full vegan from the start. You're just trying it out, maybe like a meatless Monday. They called it a meatless Monday. So you try that, you're just going to be reducing the amount of meat and dairy you eat and, making more decisions towards plant-based eating, but not like killing yourself if, you have steak one night.
No, I definitely agree with that. I've tried it a little bit during the week, just eating just strictly vegetables and fish instead of red meat. And I can feel a difference.
Didn't somebody at your work, one of the guys?
Yeah. He a little bit older and went strictly just to vegetarian, and he feels 1,000 times better between strength and every aspect of life, and just lost the weight that he wanted, and it's been working.
So I think, again, some people, these dietary changes, and that's for him, it's not necessarily a diet. He changed his lifestyle. So it's a long-term thing. So for some people, it works better to call it something and to have like a plan, and that's great. I don't think I could go a vegan, especially not vegan. I could vegetarianism. I see the appeal of it, especially because I'm a big animal lover. but then you cook me a steak and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do this. So
Yeah.
I see the benefit of incorporating a couple days a week of not having meat. I mean, we eat a lot of fish anyways, a lot of salmon. So, I mean, I think it's got its appeal, and it's also better for the environment too.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's another plus if you want to be a good person.
The best part about a diet is you can really use your body as a science experiment and try little different things and just actually base it on that per week. Like, okay, this week I'm only going to do this, and then test how you feel during the day. It will change. You will see and see what works best for you. You have to really listen to what works for you.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody is so different. So with each year, these trending diets, it's not the same thing is going to work for everybody. And even we're going to go over the worst rated diets on the list. And even though they're rated the worst, they're probably still successful for some people. So it's just going to be different depending on your body and what works best for you, what kind of mindset you have. Like if you need something really strict or if you need something much more flexible, it really depends on your personality and your body. So with that being said, the number one on the worst diets list, and this didn't surprise me because I have my own personal feelings about it, is the ketogenic diet.
Okay.
I'm not a fan personally, not for me. And I actually do want to have an episode about the keto diet in the future. And I would like to have people on that have either had success or not successful on it and get their takes on it. Because I'm sure there are plenty of people that have had success with it. So I'd like to hear their side and be fair. Personally, I'm not a fan for the same reasons doctors list. It's difficult to sustain long term.
Mm-hmm.
And by long term, I mean more than just a couple years. Like we're talking a decade. Yeah. And the thing is, the keto diet hasn't really been around that long. I mean, I think it's pretty similar to the Atkins diet. It seems like a refashioned Atkins diet.
Now, have you ever tried something really crazy diet-wise? That you got strict on and then realized, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't?
No, just as a teenager, I had eating disorders, so I restricted my eating a lot and exercised way too much without eating hardly anything.
Yeah.
And I remember measuring my food as a teenager, like before going to school, and like literally counting the Cheerios I put in a Ziploc bag. And you know me today, and that's not at all. I mean, I eyeball it, but like I can't obsess over it to that extent of literally counting things.
The biggest aspect, I think, is before you start a diet is to recognize what your goal is and at what point you want to reach that goal then.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people obviously start a diet for weight loss, especially when we're younger, because we care about our outer appearance, and that's usually our motivating factor. I mean, I know growing up, myself, my sister, my mom, and most of the girls I knew, had pictures of models taped on their mirror or things like that. Or some people even taped them on their fridge to remind them of what you want to be and what your goal is. And that's why you're doing this. But now that we're getting older, of course, I still want to look good. I care about the way my body looks, but it's also now much more of an important health issue for wanting to eat healthy and things like that. It goes beyond outer appearance and really caring about the long-term effects, high cholesterol, all that fun stuff you have to worry about once you get old. And also with setting the goals, the diet doesn't also just mean lose weight. Diet is also a lot of the guys who are like, I have to eat this many calories to gain this and become this, and power lifters and bodybuilders and like world's strongest men type, that's the foreign to me because I'm like the opposite. I think a lot of girls are, but now that strength training and like bodybuilding's started to become much more popular, I see it online all the time about gaining weight. And you're reading one book that was wake up at 3:00 in the morning and pretty much have Thanksgiving dinner. That's disgusting. Get up and eat that many calories to then sustain and then start. Of course, you're doing workouts in the morning. I don't think I can eat a Thanksgiving dinner at 3 a.m. and then work out. Like I'll vomit. Well, I'll wake you up at 3 and we'll try. Oh, no. You're not waking me up at 3 because he woke me up Sunday morning. We did a little group run, just an easy 10K over the Ocean City Bridge. And I had my alarm set for a very specific time. And somebody woke me up 3 minutes before that time. And I was not happy. I don't know. What did I say to you? You pulled the blanket back very hastily and was, I have 3 minutes. And then I think I said, I hate you. Yeah, that's my go-to. So yeah, keto diet is again, it's basically mostly protein, low carb. It's difficult to sustain long term. Again, more than just a couple of years, because I know people will post in response to this. I, have been on it for 2 or 3 years, and that's great. But doctors are still doing studies for long-term sustainability, like beyond a couple years, more like a decade, and also the long-term effects, because it is a diet that's higher in saturated fat. It's got little fiber and not a whole lot of complex carbs, which you do need good carbs.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand why that tops the worst list. But again, I am absolutely open to having an episode in the future with somebody coming from a different perspective, because I would like to hear how it's helped somebody else. Number 2 on the worst list, which is pretty similar to the keto diet, is the paleo diet, except it's actually even more restrictive than the keto diet. Not only is it high protein, but it excludes entire food groups like dairy, grains, and legumes. Legumes? I never knew how to say it, but So it's much more restrictive than the keto diet. So obviously, I'm not a fan. I think that's too much restriction, and I think it's going to backfire in the long run.
Your body.
I just think
you'll lose. Are there for a reason.
I'm sure you'll lose weight, but whether it's going to be lasting, and also whether you're going to be healthier for it, I don't know, because you could be dealing with things like hypertension, high cholesterol, high blood pressure down the line, because you're not eating a more balanced diet and you're getting a lot more of saturated fats. So, and then another new diet that rounds out the top 3 of the worst diets list is the Dukan diet. And this is one that I hadn't heard of either. Created by Dr. Pierre Dukan. This diet emphasizes, again, protein over counting calories. So this whole high protein thing it's like a rebranded Atkins.
Yeah.
All 3 of these diets emphasize the importance of protein, which we agree. We love protein, but it's not the end all be all. You need plenty of it in your diet, but you need other things too.
Which is, once again, branding. Because after you said, let's talk about these things, and you sent me a link, it's just crazy to see the different names of all these different so-called diets. But it's just pretty much the same information. Yeah,
these 3 are pretty similar, except tiny little differences, but they're generally the same thing. And even with the top 3 best ones, they were all pretty much common sense principles. And believe it or not, the list of best and worst diets, it's like a 50-item list. There's that many different diets. And I was shocked. I'm like, how can there be that many different things? But so this Dukan diet, then I got kind of curious, because I'm like, well, okay, it's protein. It's another Atkins. There's actually 4 phases to it. So days 1 through 10 is called the attack phase. It's basically you are eating all protein, like as much protein as your body can handle, plus 1.5 tablespoons of oat bran and 6 cups of water a day. I don't get the oat bran, but you're going to see a theme here. Then the next phase, which can last months. So the attack phase was only days 1 through 10. Mm-hmm. The cruise phase can be months. You may have unlimited non-starchy veggies every other day. So they've got to be non-starchy veggies and only every other day. And then you're adding 2 tablespoons of oat bran. Ooh. I don't know what this oat bran thing is. Okay. Then we have stage 3, consolidation. Consolidation is veggies every day, 2 slices of whole grain bread, 1 serving of hard cheese, and 1 to 2 servings of starchy foods. And you may occasionally have a celebration meal of like anything of your choosing. Again, like very specific things. 2 slices of whole grain bread, 1 serving of hard cheese.
You'll be all right?
Yeah, I just think it's really, why is it hard cheese? Like soft cheese isn't allowed? And I'm not really sure I know the difference. I mean, we went to like a cheese store yesterday. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. The cheese board in Linwood. Mm-hmm. And we picked up some cheese and crackers to be all fancy. But I couldn't tell you the difference between hard and soft cheese. Is it the type of milk? Like what animal comes from?
Honestly, can't give you other than texture base of.
Damn, we messed up. We should have researched that one. Damn.
You didn't let me know.
Well, you should have read over my notes. And the final stage of the Dukan diet is the stabilization phase. Basically, you eat whatever you want You can go back to eating how you were before, except for one day of the week, you're going to follow the very strict attack phase just for one day a week. And you're also eating now 3 tablespoons of oat bran. And they also encourage walking 20 minutes a day.
Sounds like more like a prison diet.
I don't know
what you're on parole. You can do what you want a little bit, but kind of.
Yeah, one day a week you're going back to jail. I just don't get the whole oat bran thing. It's kind of odd. Is it just supposed to be like a controlled way of getting a very specific amount of carbs, I guess?
Most likely. I mean, that digestive tract wise, that first 10 days.
Oh,
you're going to be a mess.
I'm going to be fun.
No. Mm-mm.
Like, I don't even know what you could take. Could you take some fiber supplements?
Depends on how much you want to follow that diet, really, I guess.
I just feel like that's not going to be good. Oh, your stomach is not going to be happy.
No.
I'm guessing the whole purpose of the oat bran is having a very controlled amount of carbs in stages. But like, why can't you just say you can have this many grams of carbs? So that way you're not limited to oat bran. Who wants oat bran? Like that none of this sounds appealing. This one, honestly, I would give this one the number 1 on the worst. It sounds gross. It's super restrictive and so many rules to follow. I ain't about that.
And that's the thing also is, each diet is for each different person, really.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's people out there listening to this.
Works for them. They you know what? Oat bran's their jam. Not just that. It's just, things work for
some people really like rules and structure. So I'm sure there's somebody out there listening that will love this. And it's like, yeah, that's for me. I need rules and structure. And I mean, I get it. I just knowing like we, our jobs and we like to, do a bunch of stuff on the weekends. Like it would be difficult for us to follow something super strict.
Yeah.
And it would also be a little boring. We like to cook. I mean, we cook pretty healthy, but again, just common sense. Yep. Pick a protein, and we usually make vegetables for the side, occasionally a starch, but usually it's 1 or 2 vegetables for the side.
Yep.
So it's pretty easy and healthy.
Between that, a lot of people get bent around the whole, eating healthy is so expensive. It really, really isn't. If you think about it, I mean, you go to a fresh produce market instead of a grocery store, and that will make you, buy a whole bushel of vegetables, and it is a lot cheaper.
I'm reading a comment from Bill, the producer. Is that diet just meant to cleanse your insides out, so therefore you lose a lot of weight?
Probably.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Maybe if you live alone, you can try that diet. I wouldn't recommend that if you're
a very forgiving other.
Or you need more than one bathroom in the house. That would also be helpful.
Oh, I got the nudge.
No, you do share very well. I'll give you that. So I'm just thinking about our diet. I mean, we eat, so for breakfast, usually we do eggs. Or we do Kodiak protein pancakes, which we love.
Yeah.
Lunch, so that's where, okay, you think you will criticize me because I'm just not hungry, because we usually eat, well, because I sleep in on the weekends. So I end up eating breakfast later. And even on Sunday, though, we got up early to run, but I still didn't eat breakfast till we came back from the run. So I still ate breakfast late. So I'm just not hungry by the time, like in between breakfast and dinner. During the week at work, I am, because I'm eating breakfast a couple hours earlier. So I usually, probably not as much as you would like me to eat for lunch, but I eat something.
And I'm just happy you eat something. That's all. I know you know how your body works best, but
yeah, I get full very easily. So
whereas before the run I ate, and then I ate immediately after the run.
Yeah, what you did better this time. So when we did a 10-mile race, or was it the 5K on Thanksgiving? Or I think you might have done it at both, to be honest.
Both.
He ate a full breakfast sandwich before the race, before we left the house. And I was in shock because I'm like, oh my God, I'd be sick. I'll vomit. I mean, even for a marathon, I would only have you need to eat more before a marathon, but I would only have a toasted bagel with peanut butter, not a full-on breakfast sandwich. But he was like, no, it's fine. You didn't feel so good.
Yeah, but I was happy.
Oh, you're You're happy?
Yeah. So
Doesn't look like it in your photos.
oh, wow.
After Bill edits this, I should try and find one of the photos of you running during that race, and we can let everybody else decide whether you look happy or not.
I am not a marathon runner. Okay. Makes you happy. So yeah, I'll join you in the run.
Oh, thank you.
It means you can't mock me.
No, that's not what it means.
Mm.
I would gladly join you in anything.
Okay. I'll take some photos next time you're lifting.
Oh, but not much is going to be happening, depending on how heavy the weight is. But so Sunday you did something different. We got a bunch of egg white stuff from Eggland's Best in the mail that they sent us, and you just did egg whites before your run.
Egg whites. Mm-hmm.
Just so you had something in your stomach. Which that's plain. It's protein. Like that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But like full breakfast sandwich. That's going to make your stomach hurt especially before racing. Because not just running, but if you're like running faster, that's going to make your stomach hurt. You got to be really careful about what you pick to eat. And that's always more difficult for me. I have a super sensitive stomach, especially when it comes to working out and running. So that's where I have a difficult time in marathons is fueling during a marathon, because I will start to feel sick by the end of it.
Okay.
So, and I usually don't even want to eat during those early miles or consume any kind of fuel, because I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you're going to get to about mile 19 and you're going to be shot. You're like, you have no fuel in your reserves and you're done. So it's weird to find a balance between forcing myself to have something, but something that's also not going to make me feel ill. I will say when I did my 30-mile run for my birthday back in August, that was kind of like a good practice session with fueling with different things, because I wasn't racing. So I was doing it at my own pace. But 30 miles at a slow pace is a good comparison to doing like a racing a marathon. You're exerting similar energy. So I took it as an opportunity to test out different foods and drinks. So I actually opted for like real snack foods. I think Fig Newtons. Somebody else from a running group on Facebook recommended Fig Newtons, Cheez-Its, and pretzels, because the pretzels have salt in it.
Yeah.
And I will say, that was tolerable, because the last thing I wanted to do when I would stop at my car was eat anything. I was like, it just made me feel ill. But then I would take a couple bites of that and I was like, okay, that's not bad. I think I also had an Uncrustable.
Okay.
Somebody else recommended that, and that was good too. I only had a couple bites, but doing a little bit of each of those works. So I'm thinking for a marathon, I might like keep pretzels on me. I think that might be good because of the salt.
Yeah, I remember back in like the ruck mornings, and it was all morning long, and so back when I was in schoolhouse, I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'd eat something, and then I'd wait, because we're not sure if we're going to get woken up then to start PT or not. So you usually give it like an hour window, then go back to sleep, or you're out in the fields, working out and stuff like that. But the long rucks and stuff, I would use the goos. Did you ever have those?
Oh gosh. Yeah. So
those would work.
I hate them.
And then the Stinger waffles.
Stinger waffles, they are good. They're also really good, like in general, like just the regular non-workout ones on top of your coffee. They're delicious. I got them on the flight back, I think, from Italy, and I'm like, oh, these are delicious.
Stinger waffles.
Just the regular Stroop waffle. Stroop waffle, that's what they call them. Which you can find them at like Home Goods.
Yeah.
They're super tasty, but yeah, then they made the version for the Honey Stinger for running and working out. I'm pretty sure that came after. I think Stroop waffles were like around before then. But speaking of like what we consume before our workouts, you would be more of the expert on pre-workout. Now, as a runner, like I might have a piece of toast with peanut butter in the morning, or like I mix things in my drink, special hydration things, whether it's like liquid IV or Noon hydration, NUUN, different electrolyte mixes. But I never really got into pre-workouts that much. I've tried like chews that had a little bit of caffeine or something like that, but I've never really ventured into the pre-workout. It always seemed like a thing for big beefy guys in the gym.
Yeah, it's just
and explain what it is, what's in it, how you use it.
It's a lot of different mixes and a lot of different, it's just that extra boost and gets you going, and the motivation and just the feeling of it, and can cause the pump and different chemicals between each different one. It really is something that you need to try on your own. I can't endorse a certain one. It's certain people like certain things. It's really a test and it's trial and error. The only way you can really go through
What kind of feeling do you get by taking
more
it?
awake, motivation, drive, intensity, on focus.
Oh. Do you know what's in them specifically? Or some of there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there's all kinds. And then there's certain ones that you want to watch out for, depending on what you do for work. Yeah, so methylalenine and stuff like that.
Stimulants.
And, it's just not things that are on the banned list. So watch out for those. And obviously, it's not good to take too much because it's a stimulant. So
probably your best bet would be, if you're buying it online, to talk to somebody that works at the store you're ordering from. I always order a lot of my running products from The Feed or runningwarehouse.com. And both of them are super helpful. If you message them, they'll answer any of your questions. But I'm guessing, so if you go to GNC or something, I would, if you're totally new to it, I would ask somebody there before you pick something off the shelf.
Ask questions about everything. Don't just start taking anything, and listen to yourself. If you're taking something and it's doing something weird,
it's not worth it to keep trying it.
Yeah.
There's so many different products. You might as well just try something else out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the box that you got, what is it, from GNC? And they send you samples of stuff too, which I like.
Box. So it's the Pro membership there, and then every couple months they send a Pro box, and it's just different trial, error, stuff like that.
I think that's a good way to go, because then you get samples of things. Same thing with The Feed. They sell things either in big sizes or small individual packs, so you can try out a bunch of different things and then order more of what you liked the next time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of curious about the pre-workouts, not really for running, but maybe before I go to class in the morning.
So that's the thing. Running, you got to be super
careful. Because your heart rate gets up so high. I don't think it would mix well. So, but I think maybe before lifting, which I need to do more of anyways, or before going to a class at the gym, I think it might be worth trying. But I'm also a little hesitant because of my sensitive stomach. I'm because I feel like I took, what was yours? The one that tasted was it blue raspberry or something?
I don't know which one that was.
I don't know. It was in the cabinet and it just tasted really good. So that's why I took it.
Oh, that's right. Your comment, I think, was, this is Fun Dip.
Oh, yeah. It tasted like Fun Dip. Well, also because you're supposed to mix them in with water. And what did you call it? You just...
I shotgun it.
He shotgunned it. And I'm how did you not choke on all that powder? But so then I didn't even have a full scoop. I literally took a tiny little amount. I'm oh, that tastes good. Mm-hmm. But then I remember I felt a little weird. So
yeah, and some of them have very high, what is the name of it? It makes your skin tingle and turn red. Can't think of it right now.
We'll look it up.
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
It has high content of that. So some people don't like that feeling at all. It's just,
Oh, it's the same thing at the tanning salon. There's lotions that have a tingler in them that make your skin tingle. Oh. That's honestly what it reminded me of, that's not what you were going for.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I don't know if anybody can hear right now in the background. If you hear barking, that's the puppy. He's fine. He's okay. He's just really upset that he got put outside because he was crying. So, but don't worry. He is loved. He is well fed.
Oh, very well fed.
He gets his own plate of food, very healthy food.
Mm-hmm.
He is well taken care of. He's just having a little bit of a temper tantrum.
He's just very emotional.
So our last topic I want to get into, just because it really is relevant for right now, is crappy sleep, man. I slept like crap all week. Terrible. And so at my house, the cats are lately, they really want to be on me, which is so sweet. And I love it. So that's why I don't move them. But the big guy is 20 pounds laying across my shins. And then the little one's on the outside, so I can't move without her getting upset. And then I come here this weekend, and the Baniac, who was outside crying, he was in a mood with sleep. He just can't get close enough to you. So he sits on you, sits on your head, climbs on you, kicks you until you're off the bed. So all week I haven't slept well. But part of it, I think, is my own fault. I don't have the best bedtime routine and don't really have a routine set in place aside from washing my face. I'm good about that. Well, no, on the weekends you wake me up because I fall asleep and you tell me to go wash my face. But that's part of my routine. But the one thing that I'm really bad with is I try to get a lot of my work done for the podcast, for posting on To Know It, and all the other side hustle things. I try to do that at night because, one, it's quiet. and it's just an easy time to do it. But the problem is I'm getting that blue light from my phone, which I honestly think is why I'm having a hard time falling asleep lately. Because lately it's been that I can't fall asleep. I'm laying there and unable to fall asleep. And I think it's from 1, the blue light, and 2, because my mind was just doing a bunch of work. It's still thinking about what else I have to do or how well it's going to perform. So it's distracting. So I don't know, maybe try to go to sleep earlier and get up earlier to do it in the morning instead, which sounds really difficult for me, if you know me.
Yeah.
But if I can go to bed really early, then I think that might work, doing it in the morning. I got to find time to do it, though, and that's the problem. I have a regular job. It's not my full-time job. So I just do it where I can. But at night lately, I think that might be why I'm having difficulty
Your biggest
sleeping.
thing is definitely the phone is the killer. Phone is the killer no matter what. If it's the blue light, you have 2 pairs of blue light glasses.
Okay, but in my defense, I can't wear the glasses right now. So I got the glasses,
I know,
but I can't wear them right now. So
I can rig something up so it doesn't touch your nose.
yes, so I can't. I had surgery, so I can't wear them right now. Probably still a couple more months.
But you really just need at a certain point to turn your phone off and not think about, okay, I need to create this or want to create this, or even creating something, but just scrolling. It's a habit that we all really
well
have.
Because I'll be doing work and then I get distracted because I'm scrolling and looking at other people's feeds and things like that, because 1, trying to engage with other people, 2, getting inspiration, and you just get distracted so quickly.
Or
and
just me bothering you.
But it is difficult because it is, it's part of what makes us extra money. It's where we get a lot of wonderful things from. So I do have to put time into it. And I genuinely have a passion for it. Yeah, I have a passion for it and love it. It's just now I think because it's become bigger, especially in the last few months, it's really grown, I think, from last year.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Like from when you first met me. So now it does require more time. So I need to rethink my schedule here and cut out the time for it and make dedicated sit down and work time on it.
Yeah.
And actually maybe when I get home from work, like after I eat dinner, like just an hour, sit down with the laptop and maybe not on my phone, the laptop, and just sit at the desk for an hour and do that.
But also I've noticed is your phone is also somewhat of a stress relief, and it's been stressful at work. So I get it. You just want to zone out, and that's a way to zone out. At least it's not the best way, because you got the blue image, you get light in your eyes, you're thinking next, instead of just focusing on something else. Maybe it's just,
And sleep is such a big problem now for almost everybody. And again, I think it is because of the phones, the tablets, and screen time. So we read another article today about melatonin and, whether it is safe for kids. And I knew that melatonin, it's marketed as an herb or supplement, so therefore it's not subject to the Food and Drug Administration, like those guidelines. And that's where a lot of vitamins and things get away with maybe not being honest about ingredients or dosage, because they're not subject to the Food and Drug Administration guidelines. But it turns out that melatonin is a hormone. I didn't realize this. I, for whatever reason, thought it was a supplement. I'm not super familiar with it. So melatonin is secreted by your pineal gland, however you want to say, pineal, that one. It's in your brain and it's released into your bloodstream. And it's what regulates our body's natural sleep and awake cycle, or your circadian rhythm, if you want to be scientific. And it's how we know what's day versus night. It is triggered by darkness and halted by light. Therefore, why screens and tablets and our phones can halt and interrupt our sleep, because it's affecting the natural production of melatonin. So that's why a lot of people take melatonin. And it's best for, basically it's recommended for sleep latency, how long it takes us to fall asleep, to help shorten that time, which again would be good for somebody like me. And it's also best for jet lag, if you are moving into a new time zone, people that work on shifts. And it's also, in regards to children, this is where the debate comes up. They said it can be very helpful for children with autism or ADHD. One, because children with ADHD are often on stimulant medications, so it can help them to slow down at night and shorten the amount of time it takes them to fall asleep. And it's apparently very great for children on the spectrum, because they naturally have a different reaction to stimulants around them. So melatonin can be very beneficial in getting them to bed at night. And again, this is, if you have kids, you talk about this with your doctor. It's not something you decide on your own. You absolutely talk to a doctor. But the article actually said, in general, melatonin shouldn't be given to kids with extenuating circumstances. But the reason being is because it is a hormone.
Yeah.
So think, like, again, I just thought it was a supplement because it's sold as a supplement at the drugstore, like in the vitamin aisle. So I never gave it much thought because I don't really take it. So it could affect your kids' hormones. Like, think about puberty, your menstrual cycle, thyroid. It can affect they don't know whether or not it affects it. And that's the problem. There aren't enough studies on it for long-term effect. So they said really it's probably best to avoid giving your kid melatonin unless there's, an extenuating circumstance and you've talked about it with your doctor. And even if you are using it, it's really not supposed to be used long-term.
Yeah. No, I think with children, especially anything that's going to change their hormonal imbalance that's not regular, it's not needed. Unless the doctor says you have a deficiency in some area and they've noticed that and it's highlighted and it's multiple doctors have said it, but you don't need a hormone change. And hormone, like, they coordinate the complex processes of your growth and metabolism directly, what it says and what a hormone does. And it's not something your body does that naturally.
Yeah, and especially as a kid, that your body's doing its thing. You don't need to be interrupting that with something that's marketed as a supplement, but it's actually a hormone, which again still shocks me. And that's why so many quote unquote vitamins, supplements, things like that at the drugstore, which there are tons of, you really have to be careful what you're picking because they're not under the same scrutiny from the Federal Drug and Food Administration like medicine is.
Now, did you try melatonin for a while or no?
No, and that's the funny thing. You would think for as many sleep problems I haven't. Now, I've done the CBD gummies. My only problem is I take these things too late when I've already been trying to fall asleep for a couple hours and now it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So it's really not a good time to be taking it. So I need to get in the habit of taking it earlier. Now, right before we did the show, we were talking because I was thirsty and I was looking in the cabinet for liquid IV, which we both really like because we got it recently. And he's like, oh, well, I only have the sleep ones left. And I was like, sleep ones? How did you forget to tell me that we had these? Because I would have tried these long ago, as you can see here on the box. They do have a little bit of melatonin in them, only 3 milligrams. So I think that's actually a pretty good dosage because from what I've read, I think you're really not supposed to have a ton of it. It's supposed to be in small doses. But also in here is valerian root and L-theanine or thionine, which is an amino acid. It's good for relaxing and calming the mind. And again, if you've heard me talk about the liquid IV before, it's a hydration multiplier. So we're going to give this a try tonight. I'm going to have some of it. Now, I usually don't put a whole packet in my drink. I spread it out over a few glasses just because I like my flavor a little bit lighter. I do really love the flavor. The lemon lime we went through. We have to order more. Like completely went through those. And he can attest, I have been drinking a lot more water because of it. So it's definitely well worth it because I'm terrible at getting enough water. You lecture me all the time, but I've actually been doing really good lately. Well, for my standards anyways. I've been drinking a lot more water. So if you want to give it a try, they have the sleep one and they have energy ones, and then they just have the regular plain flavored ones that are just for hydration multiplying. So if you use the code all caps Rachel_runs, it's the same as my Instagram handle. You get 25% off and free shipping. That's the part I like, is the free shipping because I hate paying shipping on anything online. Anyways, again, all caps, Rachel_runs, 25% off and free shipping. So we're going to try the sleep multiplier tonight and see if I get some better sleep because the last couple nights were a little rough. And I think stress at work is also playing into it.
Definitely.
I think it keeps me up. I think it's a lot of things, but that's what everybody's dealing with. So we're going to try adjusting my schedule a little bit of when I'm sitting down to do work. When I get home, maybe not right before bed, and do it when I get home after dinner. And we'll give the liquid IV a try tonight and just try to get into a little bit of a better bedtime routine.
Yeah.
You
As I understand, melatonin also is that it's not something that puts you to sleep. It creates a cycle for your body. So you can't just take one and expect to fall asleep.
It's supposed to
creates a cycle of what you're supposed to be in. And
so it might take a week to work.
Yeah, that's why I've never really done it. Just crazy schedules I used to work was I'd work 7 at night till 7 in the morning, go home, sleep for a couple hours, go to my next job, work all day, go home, sleep for an hour, and then go back to work all day.
Yeah, that would really mess with it.
Nothing really worked. I've been lucky that I've pattern-wise sleeping,
Yeah, so today we went to take a nap, and I was so mad because I laid there not able to fall asleep. Or was it? That was yesterday's nap.
Yeah.
We took 2 naps this weekend. Well, I was up early yesterday, and then last night slept terribly, so I needed a nap today. But yesterday, he's like, "Oh, I'll lay down with you for a little bit," and I'm like, "Oh, okay," like acting like he's not gonna fall asleep, and he's out within a couple minutes. And I don't know how you're able to do that, because then I, the one that's really tired and wants the nap, cannot fall asleep.
If I decide I'm going to go to sleep, I can be outdoors on a rock. There could be
you have told me that you slept on a rock.
Things going on around. And if I want to go to sleep, I'm going to go to sleep.
See, and
that's just
I love sleep. And my whole family makes fun of me. They call me the nap queen. I have a sweatshirt with it. Like, they always make fun of me at work because I work with my family about, how much I love to sleep and take naps. And I think they think I'm sleeping the whole time. Like, if I go into another room, take a nap. But the truth is, like, half of that time I'm in there is spent trying to fall asleep. So I'm actually not napping as long as you think. It takes me forever to fall asleep. So I think I'm getting an unfair rep in this.
Oh, take a lot of naps.
Because I need them. I'm also a big proponent of sleep in general, because sleep is recovery for your body. It's how you recover from your tough workout, from the stress of the day. And I know, like, especially in America, it's like a badge of honor to, like, come into work with no sleep and work super hard and stay late and go home and get another bad night's sleep. And like you're proving something, but it's not good for you, and it's not proving anything. And the ironic thing is, stress is what produces cortisol, which is directly related to belly fat. And that's comes from not sleeping enough. Like, if you were to sleep more, you're going to reduce your stress levels. So that's why, like, sleep is super important to me. So if I'm not sleeping well, I take naps because I need to get it somewhere to keep myself in check. But I've never understood why everybody, like, wears it like a badge of honor that, like, oh, I only sleep 4 hours a night. Like, that's not something to be proud of. Your body needs sleep. It's how you function properly, your brain, your body.
And some people, they're just horrible to deal with if they don't get sleep.
Yes.
Or they can't, the way they're functioning is just.
Well, and then maybe they don't realize it, because they think that, oh, I'm working so much and doing this and that. And I, after work, I go and do these many things, and I'm only sleeping 4 hours. Yeah, but are you really giving 100% to everything that you're doing as a result? And are you performing at your best? No. So I would rather get a full night's sleep and perform better at my job or whatever activity I have planned the next day, and give it everything I have, rather than spreading myself so thin that I'm giving a little bit to everything and not doing good at one of them.
Exactly.
So sleep is super important. It doesn't make you a rock star to, like, constantly be skimping on it. And yes, a lot of us get up early to work out and things like that, but get your ass to bed early the night before. Right? And if you need a nap on the weekend, take it. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I hate them.
When we first met, I think that was like one of the very first things I asked too, is like, oh, do you like naps? Like, that's how much I love them. And he's like, no, I don't take naps. All the time now. All the time with me. Or when I take them.
It was always like, I felt like I was wasting the day. Like, I'd get up and be like, oh man, I just wasted 3 hours of the day. I needed to get things done. And it's just like, it's prioritize what you have to do, look at your brain function throughout the day and what you're doing of quality instead of what you're doing.
And no, you're right, because sometimes it does feel like we're wasting the day, but you have to keep it. So it's not every week. Like last weekend, we didn't take any naps, I don't think.
No.
But this weekend,
all depends on how the week was, how you're feeling. My back was hurting a lot, so my back was hurting. I was like, I need to just lay down.
Yeah, we both, he is in pain. I hadn't slept well. So this weekend, we had more naps. We still got plenty done. I mean, we went on our group run. I went to church. He painted the doors. So we still were productive and did things. But you know what? Sometimes you need a break, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, nothing to be ashamed of. All right, so looking to the week ahead, we had a fun idea for anybody that subscribes and comment on the video and let us know that you did. We'll send out a couple of our favorite healthy recipes. And his recipe is like a meal prep for the week. And when we first started dating, you made it a couple times, I remember. And I realized it's like your signature meal prep dish now. And it's really good, but you make a lot of it, and it can go into a container for like, you know, a few days. You can have it each day. It's great for lunch. So what exactly is it?
I love it because it's fast, it's easy, it can be made for every meal because you can add little tweaks like you throw an egg on it, it's breakfast.
It's not breakfast if you throw an egg on it. Although I remember in Ocean City, you did sneak it into breakfast one morning. I'm like, I don't think this is breakfast food.
It's a great meal. It lasts throughout the week. You buy a big 3-pound package of ground turkey, cook up the ground turkey in a separate big frying pan or wok, what you have. Peppers, green, orange, yellow, put some red onion in there for inflammation, throw some peas in there, just get everything sauteed down nice, add some garlic. Garlic's always the best. I love it.
It's good for you too.
Exactly.
Super good for you.
Get that going on the side. Once that's pretty much cooked through and the turkey's pretty much cooked through, put them together to cook even longer. Add any of your favorite types of seasonings on top. A little salt and pepper here and there. Don't put the salt and pepper in too early because it'll burn, not taste good. On a separate pan, then mix up quinoa, 1 serving. Once that quinoa then takes in all the saturation of the water, mix that in with the ground turkey and everything. Mix it all together, chop up a bunch of avocados, throw them in, and drizzle the whole top with honey. And then mix it around.
My favorite
and drizzle
part.
the whole top with honey again.
It's so good.
It's good. It's sweet. It has all.
It's a good combination of sweet and savory.
Proteins, vegetables. It really works.
It's very balanced. It meets like all the major food groups.
It can be the main meal, or it could be the side of a meal. Then you throw some, a piece of fish with it, or throw a piece of chicken. In the morning, obviously, throw an egg. But it is good. Wrap it up in a burrito, anything like that.
It is really good.
Throw some cheese on top.
You'll have several meals out of it, and you can pair it with different things, so it's not exactly the same. Or just have it on its own. Like you said, you put avocado on top and drizzle with honey. It's super good. I think it's a good combination of sweet and savory.
Yeah.
Because I always lean towards sweet, but it's super tasty. Yes, the sweet tooth, so when you drizzle the honey on it, it gets me. But it's super good, super healthy, and it'll take care of a few meals for the week. So like I said, if you subscribe and just either message or comment, like message us or comment below on the YouTube channel that you subscribed, we'll send you a copy of the recipe so you can give it a try at home. All right, so that is another episode for the week. Thank you for coming on and filling a guest spot because you're so readily available.
Watch those views.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you handle the fame now. Oh, you poor man.
I know. It's okay. Beat him off with a stick.
All right, guys, have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. Bye.
If you're interested in becoming an official sponsor for the Rachel Runs podcast, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. My handle is Rachel_runs, or contact me through email rgrant.5518@gmail.com. Again, my Instagram handle is Rachel_runs, and my email is rgrant.5518@gmail.com.